When you talk about the day, because I know that your wife actually found me, do you mind talking a little bit about how you felt about initially coming before you actually came to see me? Because I think a lot of people that will listen to this will think, well, what is it? What's going to happen to me? Am I going to walk in into this TARDIS? And just a little bit about your sort of initial thinking behind it. Would you mind talking a little bit more about that?
I mean, as I say, I wanted to make some significant changes in my behaviour. Now, I knew that there were things from my past that were influencing me, and I wanted to get rid of them. So one of the things I did was I told my wife and my family about what had actually happened to me, so that they could actually start to understand why my behaviour over the years was the way that it was. And I wanted to then look at how I could change my coping mechanisms. I no longer wanted to be a glutton. I no longer wanted to, every so often decide I needed to have sort of like an extra drink or something just to cope, especially if I'd been having a bad day. So I wanted to actually address the issues that I had, and through talking with my wife, she said she had met you and that you were offering this breakthrough day where I would be able to work through my issues. Now, I had to think long and hard about it because it was a fairly significant investment. However, the way I looked at it was my destructive behaviour, the patterns that I was actually using to cope, well, they had a cost anyway. And if I were to factor that out over the next few years, how much would that cost me in terms of actual finance and physical health? And then how much was the breakthrough day? And it was literally a no-brainer. I mean, you could quite literally say, well, if you can do without a cup of coffee from Starbucks every day for the next few months, it'll pay for your breakthrough day. It's that easy to actually sum it up. But the actual changes that have happened to me, you can't put a price on that, because I was starting to worry about how long I would have on this planet if I didn't make change. And having made those changes, I'm now actually looking to the future, planning different things. And whilst the children have got older and they've are starting to leave home, they too have seen the changes in me, and they're really happy with those changes. I think it's actually helped them so that they know they can go to university and not worry about me or my wife having to cope with me in sort of dark and needy places. So they've actually got that as a bit of a release and a bit less of a burden for them to worry about as well. But also, as I say, it means I can actually look to plan things with my wife in the future, which in the past I would never have thought about. It was all sort of just about coping from day to day, whereas now that no longer exists. It's been lifted from me. It's gone, And the thing that we worked through was to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, which is effectively what I was suffering with. And to actually be able to deal with that stress or the trauma and address it has been absolute life changer for me. As I say, I no longer have it as a burden that I'm carrying around. So my life has changed significantly, and you can't really put a price on that. But the cost of the breakthrough day is certainly worth it. I mean,